Good morning, May, year of the plague, 220, cubist year, still going on. Yesterday, two men in hard hats passed by my balcony, hanging from ropes. They were fixing something below and above, as above as below, and I looked for them, and all I saw was the reflection of them in the glass of the building across the street, and thought about all the glass that has gone up in New York for the past 5, 10 years. Glass, glass, glass. The glass of silicone, the glass of mirrors, the glass I am looking into now, the glass of representation of ourselves, the glass of me looking at the glass of me. And I remember some years ago, Mies glass, M-I-E-S, the Mies glass that is stronger than steel. The owner of an apartment in Chicago on the 26th floor, astonishing his party by running across his apartment and hitting the glass with all his might, and the surprised awe of the guests who saw that he didn't plunge through the glass into Lake Michigan. Glass stronger than steel. Well, glass stronger than anything. It is the glass of New York that is not good. It's also ugly, but it's not good for energy, for heat, for cold. It does the opposite of what a window should do. So what is this glass that's displaying now the wealth of New York, or was displaying the wealth of New York, and the glass which makes the computer chips that run our lives, and the silicone, and the glass without which we couldn't live because we couldn't communicate at this moment of aloneness and SD, social distancing. I am also astonished by the fact that today the cicadas, the 17-year cicadas came back in the south. Every 17 years, the cicadas appear and make this extraordinary noise that sounds like the world's been plugged in. And last time, I remember it like it was yesterday, they were in 2003, where I was living. Suddenly overnight, the whir of the cicada was just this extraordinary sound. We found ourselves inside. They were like the sirens of the earth. And it is now 2017, and they're back. I wonder if they're signaling something every 17 years, like, get it straight. I don't know about the number 17. I asked Reverend Billy Talon on Andy Rifkin's show today, what's with the number 17? And I hope he's thinking about it, and he'll give me an answer. I know that the QAnon people in their conspiracy-loving ideas are hung up on the number 17 too. I mean, number 3 had a career, number 6 had a career. It's an apocalyptic sign. Number 167 is the constant number in physics. There are a lot of numbers that people attach to great significance to, but 17, I don't know. 17, except for being 17, never means a whole lot to me. That's a question for anyone watching this. The other question is the question of what is the connection between the glass stealthily taking over the world, stealthily becoming an indispensable part of our lives, and the cicadas. Well, the glass is the mirror, and I bring you greetings from Jacques Lacan. And I must confess that I don't have mirrors and never had them. This is the first mirror, which is a moving and talking mirror, that I am looking into. The cicadas started in, they're 17-year-olds takeover by world, takeover of the sound of the world in the Ozarks and in Louisiana at a certain time, which is this time, 17 years ago. And they are a kind of mirror. I mean, any measure is a mirror. Anything that occurs at regular intervals, especially things, biological forms, are a kind of an echo response or an echo form of living that manifests rarely, whereas glass is not a form of life, but it is a simulacrum that has now manifests constantly. So the cicadas may just be saying, get off the glass. I know it's a ridiculous thought, but I have written years ago long essays about glass, because going through the looking glass is also synonymous with the artistic imagination, and it would be interesting to study the uses of glass in old texts like Spinoza or Lewis Carroll or Gogol, because I'm convinced that there's more glass in fiction and in the novel, which was the preeminent form of the bourgeoisie at a certain point, when there was a reason to look in the glass. Before that, Narcissus looked in the spring and drowned. And he drowned because of the hubris of looking in the glass and thinking that he was so beautiful. And then the spring moved on. When you look in a spring or natural reflection, it has a way of humbling you by taking the face or the image of yourself, either with you in it, like Narcissus, or without you, and dissolving it. So the permanence of the image, thanks to glass, may be the very thing that the cicadas are warning against. I'm going to close with the thought that glass is the most promiscuous and the most modest substance. And it is promiscuous because it can imitate other materials, including skin, gems, and metals, and also because its metaphorical reach embodies and embraces paradox, and it leads to all sorts of multiple uses and interpretation, and it is both materialistic, real, and metaphorical, and it's an in-between substance. It's a bridge between matter, mind, and it can withstand any kind of treatment or analysis, except maybe for hammers and monotheism. And it is the most modest substance because it surrenders its metaphor so easily to philosophy, psychology, literature, and ranting guy on Sunday, Monday.